My name is Jin Li.
And my name's Robert. Today we're going to introduce to you some of the basics of analytical software available for quantitative and qualitative analysis. We're going to focus on SPSS and Atlas TI, and we have a few special guests along the way to help us. We hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end.
Hi everyone. We're in the field now. Today we have a very pleasure to invite a very special guest to participate in our presentation. Okay, now please. Okay, could you give us a very short self-introduction about yourself?
I'd be happy to. I'm Charlotte Sanseri. I'm a professor, an assistant professor of anthropology, and I'm an archaeologist specifically, so I look at the material remains from human cultures.
So, could you give us some example that about your experience have ever using the software of SPSS?
Oh, I've used SPSS a lot in my research. As an archaeologist, it's very difficult to see the remains of an individual human materially, so I'm more interested in broad patterns in culture and behavior in the past. So using statistics, we can get closer to understanding broad patterns, and so I use a lot of numerical data and SPSS as well as Systat and other software, spatial software to do spatial statistics.
So what kind of special value do you feel that we can get from the using of SPSS?
Mostly this identifying the general patterns that you might not otherwise see because of focusing in on particular artifacts. So qualitative versus quantitative data really helps in analyzing those sort of broad patterns.
Okay, so very good. I think let's give the special thanks to Dr. Sanseri.
Thank you.
Now we're back in lab. I'm gonna give a very brief introduction about editing options in SPSS and entering data in SPSS. Before we set up the data file, it is a good idea to check the SPSS options that govern the way the data and output are displayed. The options allow you to define how your variables will be displayed, the type of tables that were displayed in the output, and many other aspects of the program. To open the options screen, click the Edit from the menu at the top of the screen, and then choose Options. There are a lot of choices listed, and you can change some of the setup. For example, when you click General tab, you can click Alphabetical and can list your variables in alphabetical order, and they will appear in the file. If your variables do not involve values with decimal places, you can click Data tab and change the decimal places value to 0. This means that all new variables will not display any decimal places. You can also click the File Locations tab to input the route through which your data can be saved in your computer. After you made changes in options, you may enter data. When open SPSS and go to the Data Editor window, which consists of two different views, Data View and Variable View, we click the little tab at the bottom of the screen. Then we can change between these two views. In the Variable View, we can enter the data regarding the variable name, type, width, label, measures, and so on. Then we can click the cell in the first column to enter the variable name we defined. For example, the number 10th variable of mine is the income disparity among villages since tourism project. Then it can be entered as INCM DISP, and we can input the value from 1 to 3. 1 means greatly increased, 2 means somewhat increased, 3 means the same. When we switch to the data view, all variable names we defined would be listed in each of the column, and in each of the cell, the specific data can be input. If you want more detailed information about using SPSS, you can go to youtube.com. We have much more videos on introducing the use of SPSS.
We're in the field here with a very special guest. Could you please introduce yourself and share some of your experiences with qualitative software?
I'm Jan English Lewick. I'm a cultural anthropologist. I do work in urban spaces such as China and Silicon Valley, and I've used qualitative software since 1982. I began by taking some of my dissertation work and putting it in some of the earliest databases so that I would take the transcripts and use the databases to help me organize things thematically. When I went to China, I continued that because I had a large database of over 150 people, and I really needed something to help me come up with themes. Those themes allowed me to create personas to work with. In the Silicon Valley Cultures Project, I really had a massive database, and it was important to go through and code and pull out sometimes hundreds of pages that were on particular topics, and then allow us to take a topic like identity and take that into smaller and smaller pieces. But those were all textual data analysis, and the newest data analysis, qualitative data analysis programs, allow you to do things visually as well as with text.
Okay, I think that answers many of our questions that we have about what we might do with qualitative software. And we just want to say thank you, Dr. English Lewick, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future.
Okay, great.
Hi everyone, we're back in the lab now. We're going to give you a quick demo of Atlas TI, some of the basics that go along with it so you can get started. When you first open the program, you're going to see a blank screen. You need to load your files in order to be able to use them inside of the program. In the left corner, you'll see a small box called PDocs. You click on that and a box will pop up, which is the primary document manager. Inside of here, you can add your files. Click on that little box that says Assign Primary Documents. When you do that, it's going to pop up with an option to select the files on your computer to import into the program. So we've put everything into one folder, we select everything and click Open. Now it's all inside of the primary document manager. You double click on one of those files and it'll pop up. So now you can search in it, code it, quote it, or whatever else you'd like to do with it. So we're actually going to do a basic search just for the word language. So we click Control F, and when you do that, a little box opens and you can click what you'd like to search for. We type in the word language and click Next. The word pops up, and we can see in our PDF on the left that word's been highlighted. Well, we'd actually like to code some of that, so we're going to go to the primary document and select more of the text surrounding it because we feel it's important. In order to code it, you click on that little box that's above the highlighted area called Codes. When you click on that, a box will pop open, and you can create a code. Click on that little box that says Create New Item. When you click Create New Item, another box pops up, and you can add the code name that you'd like to use. We're going to use the code language and click OK. This adds it to our code manager. In order to apply it, though, to the text on the left, you need to drag and drop it onto the highlighted area. It's very easy. You just left-click on it, drag it over, and drop. When you do that, it will immediately show up in the right pane with the code language. As you can see in this next image, there's actually additional codes we've added here. And the great thing about this is you'll be able to double-click on any of these codes and it'll jump between them. And if you add the code more than once somewhere, you'll be able to move between them equally. This is very helpful for managing your different documents and the codes that you might have along the way. We're not going to actually show you how to do this, but this next image tells you that you're able to do quotations inside of all of your documents and add comments to them. In this one, we've actually used an image rather than just a document. And you can select different areas, add the comment, and this will be you can reference this later. The great thing about all of this is everything that you have, whether it's the file, the actual file, the code you've created, the quotes you've created, the images, you can link all of them in a network display and see what you think the connections are. Really helpful for visualizing things. The only thing you have to be careful about here is that if you delete something here, it has the potential to impact the original document, or at least the aspects you've added inside of Atlas TI, such as the codes. We're not going to go too much more into this, but you can also add geomaps. So things like Google Maps, you can directly import those as well, and you can make comments on them, codes, and those can also be included in your network maps. Transcription is also a possibility inside of the program. For more information, we highly recommend you go to YouTube and look up Atlas TI. They have numerous videos explaining the majority of things you're probably interested in learning here.
Thank you for joining us. We hope you have learned something new along the way.
Yes, thank you again. And if you enjoyed the video, please click like at the bottom. And if you don't like it, please go to someone else's video. We look forward to seeing you again in the future. Bye.